morning, my YouTube viewers. It's Palestine here. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have changed the name of my channel instead of being Palestine X, because I think that a lot of people think that's a political channel, and it's not a political channel. I named it Palestine's Cancer Journey. Although when I started this YouTube channel, it wasn't about cancer. It was about a lot of my real life experiences that made me the person I am today. But then they told me I had cancer. And so obviously all of my life experiences that made me the person I am today or what caused me to get cancer. And so I just decided to change it to Palestine's Cancer Journey, so people who have an interest in cancer can actually watch the video so they won't be confused. I mean, I always tag my videos to say cancer, breast cancer, and other topics related to cancer, but just in case anybody's unsure, I'll call it Palestine's Cancer Journey. So to make it clear that this channel is about my cancer journey, because apparently that's what it's called. When you have cancer, it's called a journey, because the thing is cancer is an autoimmune disease, and it's never ending. Even if you have an operation to remove the tumor, then there can be stray cancer cells in your body, and those stray cancer cells can get into your bloodstream, and they can move other places in the body, such as the lungs, the liver, the brain, in the bones, in the case of breast cancer. And so even though you've remove the tumor, there could be some rogue cancer cells out there. And in my case, they removed the tumor, I guess it was in May, and then that was the first lumpectomy I had in May, and then the second lumpectomy, I think I had it in July, and then I started radiotherapy in September. So at that point, my cancer treatment was over, but I'm still having problems. So there's no guarantee that a rogue cancer cell didn't break free and is not wandering around my body somewhere looking to latch onto it. And the reason why is because I had cancer on my left breast. Around the left nipple, the skin is a lot different around my left nipple than it is on my right nipple. It's not on the nipple, but it's close to the nipple. And it's like an orange peel, which is, they say that if your skin is an orange peel, then it can be inflammatory breast cancer, IBC, but it could also be an infection. And in addition to that, I've got like neck pains, particularly on the left side. I've got pains here. This must be a lymph node, and it's not as bad as it was, but it's still bad. I've got pains here. That must be a lymph node. And then I've got pains in my breast where my breast is burning. And so I went to see the doctor about my neck and about my breast. The GP, wasn't concerned about my breast, but he said that if my nipple changes, let him know. So what they're doing is they're just gonna do a wait and see. So if my nipple changes, then they'll do something about it. So like when your nipple changes, it means the cancer has come back pretty much. And I was looking at it on the internet, and the internet said that you can actually get inflammation breast cancer after, as a secondary breast cancer, after you've had invasive ductal cancer, which is what I originally had, IDC. That was what I originally had, IDC, invasive ductal cancer. And they said you can actually get inflammatory breast cancer as a secondary cancer after IDC. But at the moment, because the skin area is like around here, so it's not covering my whole breast. It's just close to the nipple. It's not on the nipple, but it's close to the nipple. And then so like if the nipple changes, then you can also get something called Paget's disease. And so what Paget's disease is you've got some cancer cells have gone into the duct, and there's a tumor underneath the nipple. So you just can't be sure. I remember this was about 20 years ago when I was visiting my father who had cancer, and my cousin said, oh, well, you'll only live about 5 years once they diagnose you with breast cancer, because that's what happened to my mother-in-law. So I think they've done advances in breast cancer treatment, so you have a really high rate of people who break that 5-year mark, but still there's no guarantee that the cancer's not going to come back. And then so in December I had a really stressful situation financially, which I cannot discuss on this channel because it's still ongoing. It's to do with a government agency, and also, well, two government agencies. And since it's still ongoing and it hasn't been resolved, I don't feel that it's prudent for me to discuss what actually happened on this channel. And I think that is what triggered this. That's what triggered these problems in my neck and my lymph nodes here, my lymph node here, and in my breast. But my left breast, the skin on my left breast is completely different from the skin on my right breast. And the GP actually agreed with that. And the reason why is because I'm not taken seriously. And since I'm not taken seriously, I always have to have my boyfriend come to my appointments. Another thing that I wanted to say is today is my birthday. So this is my first birthday since I have been diagnosed with cancer. And you're never cancer free. You can say you're in remission. So I guess I'm in remission, but I don't even think I'm in remission because of the changes that have occurred in my breast. But my GP and the breast cancer nurses, they just say that it takes about 2 years to recover from a lumpectomy. So I guess they're just taking a wait and see attitude. And so this is my first birthday since being diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I dressed a little bit, looking a little bit dressy. I know you can't see it, but I'm wearing animally print leggings or jeggings, and I'm wearing a black top. I wear a lot of dark colors, and the reason why is because I don't have a washing machine. I have to wash my clothes by hand, and since I have to wash my clothes by hand, if I get a stain in it, it's really hard for me to deal with the stain. So I wear a lot of dark colors, so so if you get a stain, it's not going to be as noticeable. But I thought since it's my birthday, I'll go ahead and dress up a little bit since it's my birthday. And also, tomorrow is my boyfriend's birthday. So my birthday is 30 January. And my boyfriend's birthday is 31 January. So that's one thing that we have in common, is that our birthdays are just one day apart. And so basically, even though it's my birthday, I can't really celebrate my birthday the way that I would like to. And the reason for that is because of this bad news that I got in December. So I'm in dire straits financially. The little bit of money that I get from my work, because I'm doing permitted work, so it's not enough to pay all my bills. And so as a result of that, I was supposed to be topped up. Well, I'm not being topped up now, so the little bit of money that I get from my work is not paying all my bills. So that means that I'm having to live off my savings. And so that's a difficult situation for me. So I'm not able to have the birthday that I would like to have, which would be to like go to a nice restaurant and have a birthday meal, because of what has happened. And then so basically, in addition to that, I'm not going to have a nice birthday that I would like to have, because my boyfriend started a new job 2 weeks ago, and he was doing cleaning. He was cleaning in a shop. The shop was in the main mall in the town that I live in. And I'm not going to say the name of the shop, but it was a clothes shop. And my boyfriend is very sensitive. He is very sensitive. And so the first week it went okay. And then the second week, this lady who was supervising the cleaners came back, and she started victimizing my boyfriend, telling him that he wasn't doing things correctly, that he didn't clean properly. And basically what had happened was my boyfriend wasn't given any training. He wasn't told what was expected of him. And then when he wasn't told what was expected of him, she criticized him. And in addition to that, they didn't have the correct equipment to do all the cleaning that this woman wanted done. And so basically my boyfriend was really upset, because when on the Monday or the Tuesday must have been the Monday, he was carrying the Hoover. Well, this was just a tiny little home Hoover. It wasn't even for a big shop. It's a big shop on 2 floors for a little tiny, it was just a little tiny Hoover that you would use in your home. It was not one that you would use in a business. She told him not to hold the Hoover on the handle because it was against health and safety. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, that may be true. They may be worried that you're going to put your back out. Although my boyfriend wouldn't put his back out, someone who is really small might. And then, so yesterday, she was criticizing him, telling him that he was leaving marks on the floor. Well, the thing is he was just given an industrial broom and a mop. And so you can't do a lot. If you got, even my mop at home that I got from Sainsbury's, has these little Velcro pads on them. And so what you do is, if you've got an area of dirt or anything, because my mop at home has these Velcro pads on them, you just rub the Velcro pads on the floor, and that gets rid of the dirt. And it was just a regular mop. It didn't have any Velcro pads on it or anything. And she was criticizing him. And my boyfriend was saying, well, I swept everything and I mopped everything. And it just wasn't good enough for her. And then so I gave him a scrub brush. I said, well, here's a scrub brush. You can take the scrub brush in. And he was really upset. He's very sensitive. And he's very, very, very sensitive. And so I gave him a scrub brush. And so he went into work this morning, and apparently the cleaning woman said, well, you didn't clean this counter. Well, he never had been told that he was supposed to clean the counter. And she said, you didn't clean the cash register. Well, he never had been told that he was supposed to clean the cash register. And then she started complaining about the fact that there was some rubbish on the broom. She said, you can't take the broom up in that condition because it's going to get dirt everywhere. And then she was criticizing him in front of other people, and that's not right. I learned that from the military, that you're not supposed to criticize people publicly. You're supposed to take them to the side and criticized them in private. And he said that he felt very humiliated by what this woman was saying. So he just so she said, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" And he said, "No." She said, "Are you coming back Sunday?" And he said, "No." And he just told her, he said, "I'm not coming back." And I told him, I said, "Well, you need to ring that agency and tell that agency why you're not coming back." I told them what you did. I said that the problem is that you weren't giving any training. You weren't given any training, and you weren't told what was expected of you. And it's also, she criticized you in front of other people, which she shouldn't have done that. And so when you criticize somebody in front of other people, that can be considered constructive dismissal. And I know that because when I first started working in this country, one of the first jobs that I had was in human resources. And so if you criticize somebody publicly, that can be seen as constructive dismissal. So, I mean, my boyfriend's, he does. I mean, I can't talk too much about his personal life because if he wants people to know things, then he'll put it on his own YouTube channel. But he said that this woman reminded him of his ex-wife. And his ex-wife has a really bad temper. And so he didn't get on with his ex-wife, and that's why they're not married anymore. But I also feel that this is just my personal experience. I mean, although I am mixed, I'm mixed race. I'm part Native American and then I'm part white. Okay. So I'm mixed race. So I can't say I'm white because I'm not white. I'm part Native and part white. But my boyfriend is native English. He has that English rose complexion. And I think that a lot of people, this is what I have found to be the case in America and also in the UK, that people who are not native European or native European descent have a chip on their shoulder. And I feel that this woman was victimizing him because he's native English and she's not. And that's what I feel. And so my boyfriend says that he doesn't want to go that way. He secretly, deep down inside, he feels that he was being victimized because he's native English. But he won't say it. And the reason why is because his ex-wife is mixed, part Native English, part African, and his children are mixed, part Native English and part African. So he won't say that. He will not say that he feels that this woman was victimizing him. But I think that just my personal experience, living in Arkansas, where I'm from, and being in the military, and even in the UK, people who are not Native European or Native European descent will single out the people who are Native European and Native European descent if they think they can get away with it. And so this woman was in a position of authority, so she was victimizing my boyfriend. And he is a very nice person. He is a very nice person. But he just said he's not going back there. And I told my boyfriend, I said, you've got to tell that agency what has happened because you don't want to get a black mark put in your book about what has happened. So my birthday's not going to be that good. It's not going to be what I wanted it to be because this place that he was working was close to home. It was a 20-minute walk. And it wasn't too much work. It was just cleaning. That's all he had to do. And it was 2 hours a day. So it wasn't too much work. And I was just so hoping that he could make a go of that place and that it would work out for him. And then he'd have a steady job. But it wasn't really even a steady job. It was working through an agency, and this agency was an internet agency, so he never even spoke to anybody. It was all emails, all doing things over the email. So he never even had, it wasn't even a steady job. So I'm not going to have the birthday that I wanted. I wanted my boyfriend to get on in that place and to be able to go in there and do cleaning. But because he wasn't trained, he wasn't told from the beginning what was expected of him. He was victimized, and he was singled out. He was criticized in front of other people. He said he doesn't want to go back there. And it's his choice. His choice not to go back there. I mean, if it was me, I probably would go back and put up with it. But he doesn't have the life. He hasn't lived my life. I mean, my life has been just awful, which is why I've got cancer, you know. And so I probably would go in there, think, oh, just think of the money, think of the money. But he doesn't want to do that. He's not going to go back. And it was just an agency job either. It wasn't even a permanent job. He wasn't an employee. So all he can do is just say he's not going to work there anymore. But I did tell him that he does have to tell this agency what's happened. So that's it. That's it for my day, my birthday. It's not going to be what I wanted it to be because of the fact that what happened in December, this financial matter that happened in December, means that I haven't even got the money to go to a nice restaurant for dinner. And then my boyfriend is left this company. But I'm glad that he left instead of them firing him. Because if they fired him, it really would have not been very good for her self-esteem. So thank you so much for watching my video. And if you like my video, please like and subscribe. And I will be making some more cancer-related videos in the very near future. Thank you.